Today we're here with Alastair Mitchell. He actually is the author of Satoshi's Fortune. And thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit more about these two books. They can find them on Amazon, right?
That's right, yes.
Okay. So you want to tell us a little bit about, I want to know what made you write a novel and not just an education of us.
Okay, so I was always writing growing up, and I wrote a few detective novels before. But then when I found Bitcoin, there's just so many stories in Bitcoin that go well to the spy thriller genre that I like. So, fortunes, mystery, murders, Bitcoin has it already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's all, if you pick the newspaper or go online, it's find a story about Bitcoin, it'll make a great spy thriller as the starting point. So I figured that'd be a great way to start writing. It'd be a great niche. And it's a great way to help people learn about Bitcoin because when you're reading a spy thriller, you need to know a little bit about the subject matter, understand why they want the fortune, for example, or how to find the fortune. So a bit like Da Vinci Code, where you have to learn a bit about symbology and Catholicism just to understand why the hunt is so important.
So can you say this are true stories, real life stories, or just a novel?
Completely fiction, but I use starting points from the real Bitcoin world, like Satoshi disappearing after a colleague went to the CIA. So I use that as a starting point and just, took it from there, made a little, spy thriller story around that.
So, what made you start in Bitcoin or crypto, Fia?
Well, my family, father especially, was always a bit of a gold bug. Always had a bit of a mistrust for the government or a doubt. So that was just sort of ingrained in me growing up. And a roommate introduced me to Bitcoin. And like many people, I didn't really click at the beginning. It took me
The
years.
beginning for you, like,
Oh, geez. It was fairly early. My roommate was into computers and all that. I was just playing Call of Duty on the PlayStation. And he said, "Hey, check this out," and I dismissed it. But then eventually, after a little bit of pressing, I started reading more and more of it. And then I had a similar journey to everybody. I found Bitcoin, and I looked into the altcoins as well. But I always come back to Bitcoin in the end.
you always come back. So you're like a real believer in Bitcoin.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
So is it like the first time you were at this conference?
My first conference was last year in Nashville, and that's when I had the booth first start selling Satoshi's Fortune, and the feedback was amazing. Like everybody wanted to hear the story. Everyone loves talking about Bitcoin. And one of the biggest questions or comments I always had was, how come there wasn't a Bitcoin thriller previously? Like that's a story everybody wants to hear because thrillers are a great way to educate people too. It sort of sneaks in the information, like it's for everyone to listen to.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for creating a book that it's funny because some people can be educated by, let me give you a graphic. Or even like people don't understand that this is nothing new. It's not like, to me, it surprises me that people think this is like new. When I hear people, I found it back in what, 2000. Some people started, what was it, the first time that Bitcoin was out? The starters, 2009. So that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Now, because of all this exposure that is having, but that it's everybody is understanding it a little bit more, and the community is growing. Now they actually think that it's you, but it's not. So we went. What was the first time you were like? Well, it was back in 2000.
2011 or 2012 when my
You were
first
very early adopter.
yeah. I wish I took it more seriously back then, but I just sort of saw it as just another asset or thing to trade online like an altcoin. But eventually I came around to being a Bitcoin maximalist. So
Are you gonna continue writing more books?
I am, yes. I'm actually working on the third book in the series, Satoshi's Heist.
Let me know. And don't forget to get the review. So go and get your copy. They can find it on Amazon, right?
That's right. Yep.
And please leave a review. That helps authors a lot so they can rank and people can see it. Hopefully, very soon, you're going to also have more options like an Audible, right? Or other ways. So how can they reach out to you? You like to get emails from the people how do you get reviews from this?
Sure. You can go to alastairmitchell.com, alastair-mitchell.com, or Copperfield City on Twitter is the best way to reach me.
X.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. I'm a fit.
That's right there. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.